The game changer, also known as the paradigm shift. I'm going to talk about what it means for innovation, what it means for affordable housing, what it means for the future, what we need to do now, and what the next steps are. So, you know, part of when we got involved with mid-rise timber frame, we went here and there and looked at different things. And we went to England, and in England they were actually quite perplexed that we weren't doing this. They said, you grow the wood, why aren't you innovating with wood? You're still the hewers of wood and drawers of water. So I said, well, there's big opposition to this. They say it's not environmentally sound, and they didn't get that. So it was quite a learning experience over there because they're doing 10-story buildings. But they're also doing it in Denmark, they're doing it in Sweden, they're doing it in Norway, and they're promoting it, they're innovating with it. The hometown of IKEA is Vaxholm in Sweden. It's the greenest city in the world, so they say. And all of their apartment buildings are made of wood. So, and very innovative low unemployment rates there. They're doing it in the U.S. In fact, the U.S. is going way ahead. They've got a build green strategy down there. They're doing 2 stories of concrete, 6 stories of wood, and very innovative stuff all over the place. Great designs and adding to the supply of housing. And of course, Quebec. It's coming in the National Buildings Code, and they're also doing it in BC. They've been doing it for 5 years, approved in 2009. It's very big there. They've got 200 projects so far. You translate that into Ontario, we're 3 times bigger. It could mean 600 projects in Ontario for 5 years. So this is big stuff. And when you look at the benefits of wood frame, there's a bunch of benefits there, you know, related to noise, and it's a homegrown solution. Smaller carbon footprint, it's aesthetically beautiful, and it encourages innovation. And of course, it's 100% renewable wood, and we grow it here. So, good for the environment. In fact, in the States, they're actually measuring things like how many cars they can take off the road, good for global warming. They're also bringing in things like cogeneration and geothermal, doing a lot of that in BC. And you end up with nicely scaled communities too. You get that 6-story product that we really don't have here to that extent. So in BC, for example, and we were out there with Bill and the OHBA and Rescott, these are a couple of pictures of UBC on the left, and that's a site on the Fraser River on the right. Dynamic fit buildings, look beautiful. And also very good for seismic activity. It leads to innovation. This is opening the door for innovation for the industry, which is badly needed because innovation ties right into productivity improvements. And it ties into education, R&D jobs, building it backwards into institutions like George Brown College and Ryerson and so on. And it will create net new opportunities. Also, it's going to be a boost for manufacturing in Ontario, which we need very badly here. I don't have to tell you about how many manufacturing jobs we're losing. And off-site construction that this provides is really good. It's dry, it's safer, you get a more precise product, and then you can start adding components to that. Possibly of even greater importance is that you save time when you put up these buildings, and time is money, we know that, and money equals affordability, and it's less inconvenient to neighborhoods, for example, in infill situations where they might be going up. And it's perfect for rental, because of course in rental, you want to get buildings up faster so you can rent them faster. Even better, Northern Ontario, that forgotten part of Ontario, that huge mass north of us that desperately needs manufacturing jobs and innovation. They're losing jobs to paper. This will open up Northern Ontario to investment and value-added engineering. It's a win-win-win. And coming back to us being hewers of wood, a very good thing. Now, big deal here. Impact on affordability, absolutely critical. We have a big housing affordability problem. And the problem with housing affordability is a supply problem. It's simple. First day of Economics 101. Market equilibrium, demand and supply. We don't supply enough housing for the demands that we have. And so the government talks about it, but the problem is they're not actually looking at the supply side economics. And mid-rise could be a big part of that solution. So systemic barriers abound in our system. We've got a horribly convoluted, complex regulatory land approvals process, site plan zoning. There's huge waste in our system, massive, and it kills affordability. So there's some key reports, sponsored by Bill, for example, and others. City of Toronto did a very nice one. And, the industry fought to get this approved. But we need to be more like BC. In BC, all hands are on deck out there. They are aligned, supporting this. They want to be #1 in timber frame building and innovation. So we need more to make this happen. We finally got it approved in Ontario, and now we can deal with the outstanding problems, and there's quite a few. So, with the growth plan, smart growth, clean belts, all that stuff, they brought in all these things, massive changes in the industry, but very little was done to actually facilitate builders doing what we do is build it within the existing boundaries. So NIMBYism still reigns supreme. And housing affordability is the victim of that, and the victim of, as I mentioned, the approvals process that we have. So what are the big changes since the growth plan and all that stuff? Well, 70% 10 years ago, 70% of our market used to be low-rise. Now 60% is high-rise. Not bad, but we're not building housing for working families anymore. And our economy cannot be sustained on that. So we have to fix this problem. So is mid-rise going to be the solution to that? It's a big chunk of it. It's going to get us started in the right direction. And of course, that's critical for living standards, productivity, health, and all of those things. So what do we need? We need a task force, both at the provincial and federal level, to really drive this, to get everybody on the same page, get rid of the naysayers, and get to where we need to go, which is going to be higher, because everyone else is going higher, and they're all ahead of us. Why do we always have to be last in Ontario to innovate? We should be #1. BC's got it. We need it. Thank you.